Hi everyone, welcome back to the Short Vort. This week we are going to read about the second part of the story of Pinchas. Pinchas took the law into his own hands at the end of the previous Parsha by killing the head of the tribe of Shimon along with the woman from Midian with whom he was engaging in an illicit relationship. This was to end the plague that was caused by the fact that Jewish men were seduced by the Midianite women. And Pinchas takes a spear and he kills them and in public takes the law into his own hands, which is typically not what Jewish law would tell you to do. Jewish law says you got to bring someone into the Beit Din and they need to be formally found guilty in order to execute. But Pinchas is praised by God at the beginning of this week's Parsha, which is very puzzling because typically extreme personalities, even if Pinchas in other realms wasn't extreme, in this realm he was extreme, are something that fly in the face of a principle that the Rambam teaches us, which is that we're supposed to follow the middle path in life. Not too extreme on this, not too extreme on that. Well, Pinchas was extreme. And we're not supposed to live in the extremes, at least the way that the Rambam ideally thinks of life. So how do we relate to the story of Pinchas? What do we learn from it? If we're not supposed to be extreme in our actions. So Rav Kook, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, Rav Kook wrote in his work Orot HaKodesh, he talks about this middle path, and he says the middle path is the best path. It's the happiest. It's the one that the Torah seems to want us to follow, not being extreme in any direction. But he said in every generation there are certain people whose, as he says, the Sviat HaChaim, they're just not satiated unless they go the extra, not just mile, but the extra 10 miles in certain aspects in life. And for them, the middle path in certain ways is not the way that they will live their best life. And he says you don't need to have an extreme personality to learn from such people, to learn from people like Pinchas. Yeah, maybe we can't envision ourselves doing what Pinchas did in that situation. But all of us can learn from what drove Pinchas. Can we dig deeper and say, what drove Pinchas is he saw a threat to the Jewish future. That this plague was literally destroying the Jewish people, and that the moral fabric of the Jewish society at that moment was crumbling, engaged in illicit relationships. And Pinchas said, I'm not standing by while this happens and doing nothing. The Torah is being violated in public and I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. What drives Pinchas should at least get us to think and ask the question, maybe I should take that more seriously. Maybe thinking about the Jewish future being at stake in certain ways when certain actions are being undertaken means I need to think more critically. Maybe I do need to take some action. Maybe not what Pinchas did, but maybe I need to do something. Maybe I need to say something. And I believe that, and Rav Kook says, is that sometimes it's these giants who are the one of a kind in a generation. They shed light on a certain idea or ideal that we should take more seriously, that we should think more critically about, and hopefully in this way be inspired. To be inspired by people like Pinchas, and to be inspired by people around us who maybe in certain ways, in like a certain narrow way, in a part of their personality, very extreme. But maybe, there's something deeper to that gets me to think. And I don't need to be exactly who they are to realize that there are certain values that are very important I can learn from them. I hope that we are all able in our lives to be able to see that in the people around us and from the people that we read about in the Torah, like Pinchas. May Hashem bless us to always be able to learn from all those around us. Shabbat Shalom.